solving the problem.
It's going. Hey, it says right there, you're live. So, we are live with Westlake Charter School. We are on the live on the YouTubes, and we are doing our coffee talk for September 8th, 2020. My name is Mr. Ike, and just above me, Mrs. Caillou.
Hi, this is Mrs. Caillou, your principal. Nice to see everyone tonight.
Just above her.
I'm Amber Husted, your WAVE president.
Hey, we're the same team that brings you the podcast. I'm sure you're all listeners. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We got a great show for you. We're going to do a coffee talk. Let's kind of walk through what the night looks like here real quick. And we want to make sure everybody out there in YouTube landia has the agenda. So our coffee talk format, the same way we do it, whether we're in the library or coming to you online. First, we start with celebrations because every meeting at Westlake Charter School starts with celebrations. So we will celebrate here on this YouTube stream. But I'm also going to put on the screen right now the link that you will use at home if you want to celebrate. If you want to celebrate, right now on the screen it says bit.ly/WCS Coffee Talk Forum. You got to use exactly the right uppercase and lowercase. So I'm going to leave that there on the screen as we go through the agenda. But if you're at home right now, start hitting that link and celebrating. Now, again, that's a URL. So just go to your URL browser, your address bar, and type it in just like that. bit.ly/big W, little c, little s, big C, and you can do the rest. Okay. Type that into your address bar, and you'll be celebrating with us. So, as I said, first we will celebrate. Next, we will present some information. I'll present some. Mrs. Caillou, Mrs. Husted, and we might even have a few special guests show up tonight. We'll see what happens. And then we'll do a Q&A at the end of the show, and that link will be actually the same link as the one that I'm showing on the screen right now. And then any questions that don't get answered tonight, by the time we log off at 7 o'clock, we will jump to our FAQ page. So this is where you put your celebrations. Right there is WCS Coffee Talk form. That is for you at home. So let's start celebrating, folks. If you've got celebrations, send them in. Hey, Ms. Caillou, are there any celebrations yet?
There already are two celebrations. Can I share them? Are you ready for me to share?
Do it. Go for it.
Our first one is from Carissa Richard Johnson, and it says, let's celebrate our awesome science teachers for putting together exciting distance learning kits for science fun at home. Thank you, Mrs. Mixitz and Mrs. Gately, and all the teachers who were involved in this planning. We appreciate you. And she has a second celebration. Let's celebrate the fantastic third grade team, and especially Mrs. Rojo for the superb schedule that keeps our student and her parents on time and on schedule. Thank you.
The student and the parent. I love that. Ms. Johnson, you're the best. And yeah, I love the flashlights from Mrs. Mixon from the middle school there. That was awesome science stuff. And Mrs. Gately with the paleontology, dinosaur bones piece. That was great.
My 7th grader did a science experiment in our backyard this morning, and I recorded it. And it was just the little, the little bottles of I can't even remember the picture, like the photography little bottles, and they put out filter with some water, and then it shot up basically as high as our house. And he did it with another student, and they were on like a little chat together doing it. It was amazing.
I'm sure none of that got on the Chromebook. We'll look the other way on the science experiment.
The Chromebook was actually inside the house. It was a phone, so we're good.
I love it. Hey, send me that video. We'll throw it in the weekly. That's awesome. Hey, let's all take a slide or two here, and then we'll take more of the celebrations from the Google form. But first one up here, just a quick celebration. Hey, first day of school, families, we went and stole a bunch of your pictures off of the Facebooks. The first day of school was so amazing, and everyone who was posting pictures of their students on the first day of school, just a big old shout out. We love that. Ms. Caillou, you want to riff on this one at all?
Yeah, this is just something that just represents what school looks like at our regular school, collaboration with students. So the Chromebook Coliseum and breakout rooms, this is how we are engaging our students in small group and giving them the opportunity to work together. Just it's pretty awesome. If you've been a parent out there experiencing it, it feels good to our students and to our staff for sure.
We're loving it. Mrs. Husted, you want to take this one?
Absolutely. Our virtual back to school night was incredible. There were so many different families there, and it was awesome for teachers to kind of see. A lot of them commented on seeing the student's name with the parents' picture there. And we just got a lot of great information. The teachers did a phenomenal job. So we just really appreciate it. It was a great night of collaborating.
Yeah, so well attended. So many families. Hey, this is a picture here of the Natomas Unified School District Board meeting. Mrs. Caillou, will you just take that one? Because I know you were Estefania's old principal.
I was, and what an honor it is to just talk about her. She is such an amazing kiddo that went to Westlake Charter School in 7th and 8th grade and promoted on, and is now serving on the Natomas Unified School Board, and which is such a it's our first Westlake Charter alumni that is participating on the board, and we are just honored and think she's going to just represent us well. So good on her, and we're glad that she was part of our community.
Such a great kid, and yeah, sitting on the board, I love it. And the last slide that I have, Houston, you got to take this one because this is kind of your jam.
I love this. Every single week, it's just wonderful to see all of our families posting pictures in so many different ways you can see here, celebrating our Spirit Day. So, this last Friday was College Day, and before that, I just love seeing all the Westlake gear come out, and then I love seeing some of the parents joining in, so it's just a great way to celebrate on Fridays.
Yeah, such good stuff. Hey, Ms. Caillou, are there more celebrations in the form? You want to read out a couple of them?
Not yet. So if you're out there, make sure you celebrate out there, and we'll celebrate live. Hey,
everybody, I'll put it back up on the screen. Throughout those celebrations, we'll keep reading them as the show goes on. So if you're watching tonight, hit that Google form and tell us what you're celebrating in your house for tonight's Coffee Talk. I know I'll do a couple slides, some information slides, and then Mrs. Houston, do we have any swag to give away for some trivia questions later?
We absolutely do. I love giving away swag.
I love it.
I have some stickers, and then we have a few different kinds of bags here. We have these, which are kind of the little sacks, and then we have some grocery bags.
Love it.
And then the ever popular Westlake water bottles.
Love it. Gosh, I should have done some coffee mugs for Coffee Talk next time. Next time I'll get you some of these.
Next time.
Yeah, that's good. I got like 3 of them on my desk right now, but don't tell anybody. I'm gonna dive in. So the agenda says that we will do some celebrations, and then we will dive into some information, and then we'll take some Q&A. I've got the first set of information. I just thought, it's not the most exciting topic. It's maybe a little dry, but I think it's important because the question is, how will we know when we can move out of Level 1 distance learning and maybe on to orientation or baseline or the other areas? I thought I'd go through some of the information from the state of California for you here. You can see over here the new website from the state of California. I'll walk you through how to find these and kind of talk through what it means. The details on the California County watch list are like this. There's 2 metrics that they really want us to keep an eye on. Number 1, we want to have less than 100 new cases on average per day per 100,000 people in a community. That way, whether you're in a small rural community or a big city metropolis, you have the same metric, less than 100 new cases per day on average per 100,000. And we want to have less than an 8% positivity rate as a community. Okay, those are the metrics. Now, over here, you can see they have the county risk level. It's a 4-tiered system for the state of California. The highest tier, which is widespread, which means you are well above 100 new cases per day. That's a level purple. That's where Sacramento is now. Substantial level, which is red. Moderate level, which is orange, and that's when we can start to look at reopening schools, and then the minimal level, which is yellow. So I gave you that to kind of give you this. So where do all these details come from? How could I track where we are as a county? Well, I'll take you over to this website here. You can go to covid19.ca.gov, and you can type in Sacramento and type in schools, and it'll give you the latest status. And the Sacramento status is that we are widespread. Well, okay. I got that. What does it mean? Well, scroll down and you'll get more details. You see lower on the page, you'll see there's Sacramento County right there. On that scale of 1 to 7, it says anything above a 7 is widespread. Sacramento is between a 9.3 and a 10.3, so this is our number. We're above a level 7, which means we're widespread. Okay, but our positivity rate is below 8%, so that's probably a good thing. So where does this information come from? Because I don't want to know, we're level 7, we're level 9, we're level 4. I want to know, What's the actual numbers? What's the number of people on average that we think have contracted COVID-19 so we can keep track of it? Well, if you go to this really long website right here, epidemiology.maps. I made a little bit.ly for you. So if you want, I'll put this on the Westlake Weekly, bit.ly/SAC tracker. If you go here, you get this little dashboard, and the dashboard is live, and every single day it tells you for that day how many people we think tested positive. On September 3rd, there was 180 positive cases. So for that day, we're above 100. Okay, so Westlake Charter School has been tracking this every single day since school opened, and we've got this little spreadsheet right here. Now, you don't need our spreadsheet. You can go back to that website and keep track of it, but we've got this because we look at, here's the first day of school, August 12th. There was 286 cases that day, and all the way up to this last week, out of all those days, there was 3 days that we were below 100. Okay, well, at least we now have very clear data. We know exactly where to look, and we're tracking it very closely. So what does this mean? Let's pretend Sacramento had less than 100 cases starting today, right? September 8th, let's pretend we are less than 100. Okay, check. We would need to stay at less than 100 cases per day for 3 weeks. So it's 21 days. For 3 weeks. Then the state would then move us from the purple level to the red level. And once we're in the red level, we'd have to stay there for 2 weeks, and then the state would move us to the orange level. What that means is as of today, we drop below 100. We have 5 weeks to prepare for what happens next. And so, I look at a calendar and I go, okay, 5 weeks from now, what could it look like? So what does this mean for us? We have a clear path. We know exactly what numbers we're looking at, and we all know that we'll be tracking them every day. We're going to all need to work together because we're going to be in distance learning at least another 5 weeks unless something changes. So what I want to tell our families tonight is you have to be willing to ask for help, and you have to be willing to help each other. And so I'm begging you, don't be a hero. Like if you need help from this school, call your teacher. Email admin@westlakecharter.com. If you need help through BASE, whatever we can do for you, you have to reach out to us and let us know. We'd love to help because we've got to be able to get through this thing together and try and, keep managing forward until we get to level orange. Now, when we get to level orange, we will communicate every step of the way what it could look like, and we'll be working with our staff and with our community each step of the way. And if anything changes, we'll communicate that clearly. But I want to come on tonight, be very clear about our pathway to the next level, where the data is coming from, how you can have access to the data, and what we plan to do with it. So I'm sure that was more than my time. I'll go forward to the next slide. If there's questions on that, you can email me at admin@westlakecharter.com, or you can drop it in the bit.ly up there that's on the screen right now for our coffee talk. So, hey, I think we have our next guest who's about going to come on. Mrs. Caillou, do you have a trivia question we can ask while we're waiting for our guest to get here? Why don't you go ahead and throw a trivia question out there, and whoever answers it correctly first will get a prize.
You got it. Okay, so this one is, hopefully if you're out there listening, you might know this one. What time does the Westlake Weekly come out each week? So parents out there, what time does the Westlake Weekly come out each week?
What time does the Westlake Weekly come out? What time do we send that text message, email, and use the phone? Oh, here comes our first guest. Oh my goodness. Who could it be? Ladies and gentlemen, one of our most amazing parents on campus, Sherry Cantor. Sherry, how you doing? Oh, hey, Sherry, you got to turn off your YouTube because we're getting a little feedback. It's okay. We'll work through it together. Just go ahead, and if you got YouTube turned off, then we won't get that feedback. It's so funny because on my end, it sounds like this. Sherry, you almost got it there? I might mute you. No, I shouldn't mute you. Is your YouTube on or off, Sherry? It's I can't hear what she's saying, but So, okay, we have a little glitch here with Sherry coming on. Sherry, can you hear us? Well, we can't hear you, and I don't know why. It's the strangest thing. All right, well, hey, what I'm going to do, Sherry, go ahead and jump off. I'm going to bring you back on. I'm going to see if the glitch is just with you coming on or if it's my side. So you go ahead and hit the hang up button, and then I'll text you and you come back on. Hey, Jen, has anybody answered the trivia question yet? All right, well, go ahead. Who won the trivia question, and what is the answer?
We have a winner. It's Rachel Songer is the winner. Rachel Songer is the winner. So congratulations, Rachel. Amber will make sure you get a prize for answering that question.
What was the answer, Jen?
I don't know. My helper told me she got the answer. But the answer is 6 p.m. every Sunday night. That is our goal. If internet works our way, we like to send it out at 6 p.m. every Sunday. I don't know if you're listening to the answer. I send that every Sunday.
Hey, Amber, would you do me a favor? Will you text Sherry? Have her mute her mic as she enters, and then we'll see if it's a glitch on our end or her end. But let's try to bring Sherry Cantor back on here, everybody, because she is a phenomenal Westlake charter parent, and she's got a little Parents Corner slide for us that she's about to share. So let's welcome back to the stage Sherry Cantor and see what we can do here. Gosh, it was fun. Jen, on your side, could you hear? Were you getting feedback on your side?
100%. Yeah.
On my side, it sounded like I thought I could hear my voice like echoing like this.
That's what it sounded like, exactly.
It was so funny. I'm like, wow, I sound great. That's my singing voice right there. Hi, Sherry. So I don't hear us feeding back now. Why don't you go ahead and make sure your speaker volume is turned down somewhat, and then go ahead and unmic and see if you can walk through your slide for us. All right, let's see if it works. That sounds awesome. Sherry, you talk, and I'll be quiet. Okay, well, that was. Hey, Sherry, I'm gonna bring you back another time when we get the tag figured out. But that sounded so awesome, Sherry. I don't know if it sounded good from her side, but from my side, it sounds like me just going raw, raw. Oh, that was great. That just made my night. Poor Sherry. Okay, hey Amber, text Sherry. She might be able to call in and we can get her audio. But I'll jump forward to the next set of slides, keep the show rolling, and we can come back and get Sherry. She has some great pieces here to help establish from the parent side of things what distance learning could look like. And Jen, maybe we can grab the phone-in information off of the Google Meet and send it to Mrs. Cantor. Maybe she can call in. Sorry, Sherry. I'm sure it's a problem on my end, not yours. Poor Sherry got. Okay. Hey, next slides up though are from Mrs. Houston. Mrs. Houston, you ready to rock your slides?
Yeah. Sorry, I was texting Sherry again.
Totally,
I'm ready.
Totally okay. All right. What do you got for us, Mrs. Houston?
Okay, so welcome. This is a picture of our first virtual wave meeting here, and it was fantastic. It was a great night, and there was so many fun ideas for fundraising, kind of in this, new world we have right now. And there was several parents who joined, and I just thought there was a lot of great information. So our first wave meeting, thank you to everyone who attended. It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of information out there, and we do have some upcoming wave meetings. And at these meetings, we kind of chat and get to know each other a bit. We talk about things that are coming up. And then a lot of it lately has been brainstorming. Just what could we do? What do we want to do? And, what do we want to see out of this new school year? So these are the next wave meetings that until the new year. And so we hope that you'll join us for one of those meetings. And you are free to turn your camera on. You can talk. You can just watch, whatever you're comfortable with. So we hope to see you there. And then we do have some volunteer needs, and I have advertised this a little bit. We want to do a fireworks booth, which it seems so far away, but we do have to commit soon because they do sign contracts for locations coming up this fall. So we would love to have a fireworks booth next summer, and we would love to have a team working on this. So if you want to create that team and find that team, or if you have some friends and you want to just create the team to make this happen, let us know, and then we'll get the parents to help support that. So we would love to have a booth. It generally raises $10,000 to $15,000, so it's a significant amount of money for WAVE, and that helps us organize our community events. We give to the classrooms. We do a lot of great things with that money, and it's just a great fundraiser that we would, we just really don't want to lose. And then dinner fundraisers. We usually call them like family night outs, and right now it's not really so much family night outs as family go pick up and bring home. So we would love for someone to take that on and maybe try to do one a month. So if you want to go grab some food, you want to grab whatever is set up, then it's a great fundraiser for us. And if not, then it's not a big deal. And so I've already set up the first one for this month, and that is Chipotle. Chipotle is awesome. They give back 33%. And so that, if you just click it one more time, Mr. Ike, the Chipotle fundraiser is the 29th, and it's from 4 to 8 p.m. And this is the Truxville location because they had availability. So I will put more information out on the Westlake Weekly, but if you want to join us, the 33% is awesome. So let's grab some tacos or burritos and raise some money for our school. So if you're interested in setting up those fundraisers, it's really a great volunteer job because you just do it really at home with your computer, and it's pretty quick. And so it would be a great thing for someone to take on just in a little bit of free time. So please send me an email. Worst case, email admin@westlakecharter.com, and they'll send it my way, or you can email me. And I'd love to hear from you. And let me know if you have any questions about meetings or if you have ideas about fundraising. We just appreciate all of it.
Yeah, awesome. We would love to see more people on that screen at the WAVE meeting. So come on out and have fun. It's such a great group. And Mrs. Husted, just shout out to you for you are our WAVE president. You are the glue that holds all of us together. So thank you for doing what you do. It is awesome to see the fireworks booth starting to rev up and the fundraisers, the dinner night. It's funny, when I saw the dinner fundraisers, I'm like, we can't really go do dinner night. Oh, we can do takeout. Yes, we can. That's awesome. So I'll be getting me some Chipotle on the 29th. Perfect. Hey, Mrs. Kaiu, I think it's on our schedule. Time to do our second trivia. But do we have any other celebrations that trickled in?
We don't have any other celebrations that have come in yet, so just remind everybody to send those in. But I do have a trivia question if we'd like to go there.
Oh, yeah.
So what is WAVE? When we talk about that in our community, what is WAVE? And I'll let Amber tell us the answer when it comes through. So what is WAVE? So that's our trivia question. And in the background, I think Sherry's going to try to call in. It's
awesome.
What a celebration should be.
Awesome.
So we just got that news. So what is WAVE? Trivia, and then here we go.
The question is, what does WAVE stand for, though, right? WAVE, not just the description of WAVE is awesome, group of people who do nice things. No, what does it stand for? WAVE. We all very something. WAVE. All right, I'm going to go back to Sherry's slides because I know she's calling in right now. But if you are watching live at home, here's the link right here on the screen that shows you how to call in your, or how to drop your answer to our question. What does WAVE stand for? Hey, Sherry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you sound like you and I sound like me. This is perfect. That was so funny, Sherry. I don't know if you could hear it from your side, but it sounded like my voice is in slow-mo, which I loved. I thought it was great. Well, welcome to the show, Sherry. We'd love for you to start with this celebration. Do you have just something that's kicked off the school year that makes you want to celebrate? You got anything bubbling you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. I like to celebrate. Well, some of the stuff's already been said, but I like to celebrate the fourth grade teachers.
Did I lose you? Fourth grade teachers?
So yes, last year again, we're going to have fun with the audio portion of this appearance.
Hey, Sherry, who do you have in fourth grade this year? Who's your fourth grade teacher?
We have Mrs. Kara.
Oh, she's amazing. I wonder if she's watching tonight. Mrs. Kara, if you're watching, you are amazing. That's a great celebration. She's kicking off the year strong. Well, hey, Sherry, I have your slides up here right now. So I don't know if you can see the slides or not, but the first bullet point says, create a good learning space. Talk us through that.
Yeah, so I wanted to give a few just some learning tips, ideas that have also worked in our family. And the first one was create a good learning space. Set up a location that's dedicated only to school activities. Make sure it's quiet and free from distractions.
Perfection. I've got 2 dogs, so the distraction thing is a problem for us. How about this next one? Establishing routines?
Yeah, so, it's a good thing to, follow routine every morning like you would if you were going to school. You get up, have breakfast, you get dressed, brush your teeth. Also keep normal bedtime routines and set expectations with your kids as well. When can they spend time with you? When should they avoid interrupting you, especially like if you're on a conference call for work? And then just work together to find ways to prevent downtime from becoming more screen time.
Oh my gosh, that is a great nugget. I'm with a bumper sticker. Let's figure out ways to make sure downtime doesn't just create more screen time. That is genius. It says begin and end the day by checking in. Talk me through that one.
Sure. So, in the morning, I do this a lot with my daughters. I ask them, what work do you have today? How would you spend your time? And then what can I do to help? And we sort of prioritize because the schedule will come out around 8 a.m. We prioritize what she's going to do, what she wants to do first or second. She's a little bit in control of her learning and what's going on.
Wow.
And then at the end of the day, I might ask her, how far did you get with your task? What was hard? And maybe what could we do better tomorrow?
Yeah, I love the envisioning the day and then setting goals for tomorrow. These are nuggets. I'm going to take this slide and throw it in the weekly so everybody can see it. This is great, Sherry. Encourage physical activity and humor. I saw the humor piece and I just died. Walk me through that one, Sherry.
So obviously physical activity is always good. Start the morning, jumping jacks, jog in place, whatever to get your heart rate going a little bit. Maybe at lunchtime go for a block walk or maybe even a 5-minute dance party. And, my favorite thing is to find the funny, meaning, be silly and come up with crazy answers so your kids will correct you. There was one morning where my 7th grader looked a little bored. And I asked her how it was going. She said, "Oh, it's so boring." And I said, "Well, would you like me to get on the Google Meet with you so that it could be a little bit more fun and interesting?" And she was like, "No, please don't, Mom. Please don't." So, needless to say, she never told me she was bored again.
Yeah, I love it. You tell her, "Hey, Mr. Ike said I can get on. I'll get you a special passcode, Sherry." I love that. And I love the physical activity. At back to school night, my 3rd grade teacher for my daughter's class was really explicit about that. Like, hey, every time we have downtime, get up, move around, move your body. I thought that was great advice. And then make room for well-being. What's that all about?
So, yeah, I think the biggest thing is to just give a lot of praise to your kids, make it detailed to mean that they really did good today rather than I think we sometimes get caught up in talking about the negative rather than something that was good that was done. Just encourage the kids that it's not about being good or bad at something, but just working toward getting better at something. And I know that as parents, we sometimes beat ourselves up about, myself included, that I didn't do this today, or I didn't do that, or I should have done this. And I think that we sometimes just need to get away from that and know that, tomorrow's going to be another day. Let's make tomorrow better than yesterday.
Wow. That is not just advice for the children. That is such good advice for all of us. It's such a trying time. All of us are working so hard and make room for well-being and, allow for growth. I love it. Hey, Sherry, I've known you for years. Our kids went to preschool together. I'm a huge fan of you, man. I am so sorry that we had a little technology glitch, but thank you for jumping back on and sharing those nuggets for us. Will you come back on another time sometime when we'll get the video worked out?
Sure.
Thanks, Sherry. Thanks. Hey, have a great year. We'll see you out there.
Thanks so much. See you later.
Okay, team. Hey, Jen, did anybody answer the question correctly? Do we have a winner on the trivia question? Who was it? If it was Emily Batten, don't just skip it.
It's making me laugh because the same person is the correct person again. Ms. Songer answered it correctly. But Mrs. Houston, give us the answer. What does WAVE for our parent volunteer, what does it stand for?
Westlake Association of Volunteer Explorers.
Westlake Association of Volunteer Explorers. There we go. I love it. Hey, everybody. we got the trivia question rocking there. I know we had another trivia question on the corner, but I told our second special guest that they were up at 6:25 and it's now 6:30. I'm a couple minutes behind, so I'm gonna introduce our special guest in just a second because I think you're gonna love this guest star for the show. This person is someone, if you don't know them, you'll love them. Here he comes now. He's not only an 8th grade Explorer teacher, but he's a dad of a 3rd grader and a dad of a kindergartner. So he's gonna bring you some nuggets right now. Mr. Eichley, I'm going to mess with my grid view to make sure I get you on screen, and there you are. There is your face, but not, I can't see your camera on it. Let's see what, there he is right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eichley. Hi, Mr. Eichley.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
So good, so good. Welcome to the YouTube Coffee Talk, man. Hey, we're so excited to have you. You know, when we rapped about guest stars, we're like, oh, who could bring it from the parent side? But it'd be so great to have somebody bring it from the teacher side. Then we're like, oh, Mr. Eichley could bring it from the parent and the teacher side. I'm going to put your slide on. What do you got for us tonight, Mr. Eichley?
Well, is it okay if I start with a celebration?
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I skipped my favorite part of the show. What are you celebrating tonight, Mr. Eichley?
I want to celebrate how, at least in 8th grade, community is forming in our classrooms. And it is maybe one of my biggest anxieties of distance learning was like, how will I get to know these kids in the screen and their personalities just oozing through and making my heart heavy with happiness. So that's what I'm celebrating today.
And it's so real. I mean, we all worried all summer, like, are we going to be able to build community? And to see what's happening in your classroom and all of our classrooms around here, it is just phenomenal to see that happening. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Such a good celebration.
So here's what I got 2 tips on deck, and this is from the parent lens for sure. So the 2 things that have been helping us the most is one with Gmail. So now if parents, if you're out there and you've looked at Gmail, it gets a little crazy. And it's the wild part is only 2 people can email your student, which is Google Classroom and your teacher. And to have it go is hard to manage. And so we have dialed it in with our 2 daughters to where their Gmail just shows on the primary tab just emails from humans, like their teacher, like actual communications. And on the updates tab, just Google Classroom notifications, but not all notifications, just the ones you really want to see, which is feedback from teachers. And so if you see on the slide there, I made a little bit.ly link. I made a tutorial for families to check out how I structured it and made it done. If you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/WCS Gmail, it'll take you to the video. It's long, but I think it's worth the time because I know now my wife has been home with the girls helping out, and she just opens Gmail. She knows to click between the 2 tabs and look at new stuff and then archive off a message when they address it. And so it become now like a manageable to-do list each day.
Hey, Roland, just jumping in, man. I mean, I watched your videos. I watched both of them, and you said, oh, it's long. Hey, that Gmail video, that's a must watch. I mean, Houston, how many inboxes you got in your house? Right? Your kids are getting so many emails, and they get kind of buried in all the classroom notifications, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, this little video here is just a real game changer because you're just going to see the ones that you want. Yeah, that's a great one, Eichley. I love it. And
right. And I want kids to see the private comments we leave, right? Our feedback often shows up in the private comments of Google Classroom and not like buried deep in the docs.
Right.
And so I think it's important for you to see that feedback. And so this manages that to where you actually can see it in like a real-time manner.
Such a great nugget. And we'll put that in the weekly as well. Tell me about this second one, because when you showed me this one, I had this problem. I'm like, oh, that's a solve.
This is the most simple hack, and it's kind of like one of those like duh moments. But my wife and I were trying to figure out. She's at home. She's like, hey, look, teachers are asking for pictures of student work, whether it be just the work itself or a picture of like the kids smiling so the teacher can feel connected to the kids. She's like, I take it on my iPhone. How do I get it to Quinn and Grace's Chromebooks and get it into Google Classroom? And we figured out a pretty elegant solution, I think, which is you just download the Google Drive app on your phone, and then take your picture as normal. But then you log in as your student into Drive and upload the picture into Drive. And when your child goes right into Google Classroom and says add something from Drive, it'll show up right there because it's the most recent upload. And it's just like a no-brainer. Then way you get to keep the photos on your camera roll, so you have these wonderful pictures of your child holding student work, so you keep that, but then you just upload it to their drive in their name, and it just magically works.
Oh, that was... I'm so embarrassed because it's such a duh, but when you told me, I was like, oh, that's a game changer right there.
It's a simple solve, and it's like my wife has now been posting all kinds of pictures, or at least, well, the girls have been posting pictures because my wife can easily snap photos on her phone and get them up, and we're logged in as both kids. You can have multiple accounts logged in the Drive app, and so she just toggles in between Grace and Quinn and uploads the photos as needed.
Now, that video right there, I think that's a 2.5 minute. It's a pretty short video right there, right?
Quick one. Yep. Yeah, much easier digest. But I think, personally, the Drive one is like the genius hack. That's the one most people are going to, because they're home taking photos and they need to get it across accounts. Just log in as your kid. Right?
Yeah, that's such a game changer. Houston, I saw you nodding. Are you using your Drive on your phone?
I am. I did figure that out in spring because I spent a lot of frustrating hours trying to take pictures. Even on the Chromebooks, when you're like, okay, trying to take a picture from that little camera, the pictures are awful. It's
They're
awful.
terrible.
And every time they're like sideways. Yes.
This camera right here is the best camera in your house.
It is.
Unless you're, a camera nerd. This thing will take incredible photos, so get that quality in there. Yeah.
And we get to keep.
Oh, and there we go. There we go. There goes everybody blinking out of my Google Meet. This may happen to you at home. This happened to me just now. Let's see if I can get everybody back. Hey, team, it looks like you're there, but you just all blinked off the screen. Let me see if I can get you all back. And you're back. Hey, guys, you all blinked off the screen for a second. And since my screen's the one on YouTube, everybody lost you, but you're back. Great hack. I love the Google Drive hack. And Houston, I'm glad you figured it out before Ikley, so I'm going to credit you. This is the Houston Google Drive hack.
At least he's showing.
We'll call it the Houston hack from now on. That's what it's called.
But hey, Ikley, you'll get full credit for the Gmail hack because honestly, families, go check that out. It is like so good because we're all getting so many Gmails in our kids' account. And Ikley, in the video, you use Quinn, your kindergarten daughter, and it's so cute to be like, oh my goodness, this kindergartner's got like 100 emails.
Oh yeah, it was 100 emails like in the first 2 weeks of school. There's just Google Classroom flooding you.
Right.
And you don't need to see that a new assignment was posted because it's part of our routine to go every day and check that out, right? Like those are things you will see. What you won't see is the feedback, right? There's nothing in Classroom that's saying, hey, there's a private comment waiting for you.
Agreed.
And so that's how. Yeah.
Well, hey, man, thanks for sharing. Thanks for making videos. We'll put these in the weekly. We'll make sure the families get them. And thanks for being here tonight, Mr. Ikley.
My pleasure. Good to see all your faces.
Hey, we'll see you soon. Hey, Mrs. Houston, is it time for? It is. Jen, do we have another trivia question we can ask?
I'm sure we do, and we have a few celebrations that came in from our families too.
Throw in a celebration or two.
And then I'll ask a question. So I would do. Christina Ledig said, "Big thank you to the Web Advisor teachers and the students participating in web leadership. It's been great that this program has been able to continue, and the students' continued excitement to participate in the program." And then we have another one came in that says, I love that Mr. Ikley is a special guest. We missed him this year, but middle school really is going as well as it could. We're so blessed by the extra mile our teachers are going, which is so nice. I love these celebrations. It's wonderful.
I love it.
Do we have a trivia too? Let's see.
Yeah, hit us with a trivia. And I put the banner up there. Everybody go. Try and beat Mrs. Songer to this. Cue up the form right now. Before Mrs. Songer gets there, Mrs. Caillou, what's the question?
Yeah, okay. We're not currently going to school, but this is what it says. How do you get information on routes to school? So there is something that is part of our organization. How do you get information on routes to school? How do you get to school? How would you get that information?
Yeah, like what are the ways to get here? The ways to get here. Like you could walk, you could ride your bike. There's different ways to get here. Okay, great. The next slides up are yours, Mrs. Caillou. And I know we're a couple minutes behind. I apologize, everybody, for the little glitches. But Mrs. Caillou, you want to rock your slides? You want to tell us what you're talking about tonight?
I do. Thanks, Mr. Ike. I'm excited for the opportunity just to kind of recap and take this time to talk to families about a couple of special things. So some families have been reaching out and saying, hey, will my child receive regular report cards? Will they get progress reports? How will I monitor my students' academic growth and social emotional growth? And I wanted to really talk about that because one of the big ways that we believe is that we communicate student progress. And our reporting system always goes along with our mission about the academic and social emotional learning. That we believe that both are important and that we should continue to communicate about that. So I'm here to say yes, you will receive your first progress report on October 2nd. And every 6 weeks, about every 6 weeks, you will receive communication about your child's progress. Now, we recognize that some of the things are a little trickier, like how do you give assessments online? And how are you going to monitor my students' growth? And I'm going to tell you, our teams are leaning in to each other, and they're communicating and figuring out what does that mean? What's our protocol for how we assess students, and how do we get accurate data to reflect students' progression through school? But what I wanted to reassure families that we're going to do our very best, that we are going to communicate about every 6 weeks on your students' academic and social emotional learning that we've worked on with your student. All of the things we believe in, such as reassessment, such as our grading philosophy, such as all those things that always have existed at our school, we're still using them. We're still putting them into action because we know that there are going to be times where kids are not going to know it by October 2nd. We're going to need to work with your child a little bit more, and they might have a chance to reassess and show their learning. But really, it's just our opportunity to communicate. And so that's what I think about when I think about progress reports and report cards. Will it look a little different? Maybe. But will it be our chance to communicate? For sure. So that's what I wanted to say to families is that look forward to that communication. I'm currently working on what does progress reports look like as we started distance learning and how we do that. If you have a K1, 2, 3 student, your child might have already been participating in skills assessments, which will give you that data about how your child did that in the last couple of weeks. So we're excited to communicate progress, but for sure, as it comes forward, make sure you communicate with your child's teacher if you get something and you're like, how did I get that grade? And communicate with your teacher for sure. But that's what I wanted to come out and say, Mr. Ike, is that we will be communicating students' academic and social emotional progress.
Yeah, it's great. So we should expect a progress report cards are doing its thing. Just not to put you on the spot, but like parent conferences out there in the parent conference zone, we're still expecting that, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, we're still expecting those for the first and second trimester, as we normally do. As we go, we will plan, right? So it more than likely will be virtual, much like Meet the Teacher and the opportunity, but to sit down with your teacher to talk about your students' progress for sure.
I love it.
Thanks for bringing that up for sure. Our teachers were talking about the other day, like how could we? I was like, wait, it's not for a while. That's not till November. Worry about this week. We're okay, but they care a lot about how to communicate with families.
That's great. Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Mrs. Caillou. Thanks for the update. I think it's important to Coffee Talk to have some fun items to talk about, but also some items that are like, this is probably on everyone's mind. Like, are we getting a report card? What's the deal? So that's great stuff. Thank you. Hey, we have one more special guest for the evening. We're 5 minutes behind the show right now, but this special guest is going to bring us some information I think most of you are going to want to hear. This is some really interesting information about our future. If you're a kindergarten through 8th grade Westlake Charter School student, at some point, that Westlake Charter School kindergarten through 8th grade student is going to go on to 9th grade. Well, where will you go to 9th grade? I mean, there's got to be some awesome school somewhere around here that you might go to in the 9th grade. Well, our next guest coming on right now is none other than Westlake Charter High School principal, Mrs. Emily Batten. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Batten.
I'm so excited. I'm probably way more excited than I should be. I was like nervously pushing my join button. So it's so good to see you guys.
Oh, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. We're so pumped. So we saved you for special guest number 3 because we thought, everybody wants to hear what's going on with the high school now. I know because I meet with you all the time that behind the scenes, while we've been all working on distance learning and getting the show rolling here at K8, you've been just working so hard with our director who's been working with you. Leslie Sargent's been working with you, and the two of you are the dream team. They're building, our dream school. What kind of information do you have for us tonight, Mrs. Batten?
So I have an hour and a half, right, Mr. Ike? Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, I was just to start with celebrations, though. I blew it with roll in too. Hey, Mrs. Batten, what are you celebrating, ma'am?
Well, I have so many celebrations as usual, but I'll narrow it down to, I'm going to go 2, if that's okay. So I'm going to do one celebration just as a Westlake parent. I have a kindergartner and a 5th grader. It's what I think many people on the call have echoed tonight, just that our teachers are working so hard. I just actually got off the phone a little bit ago with an 8th grade parent who had a kindergartner as well. And she's like, my kindergartners are learning. She's like, I'm talking to friends at other schools who are saying my kids aren't learning. She's like, my kids are learning. They are learning. And I was like, you're right. My kindergartner in the past 3 weeks of school has learned so much, both academically and social emotionally. So just a shout out to our teachers and this team for all the work you've done to make distance learning so amazing.
Love it.
And then my second celebration will lead right into my share this evening. So my second celebration is just that I've had a chance this month to meet virtually with some 8th grade families to begin talking about our high school. So I found that I find no greater joy than talking about our high school program. So if anybody ever wants to just call me on a Saturday evening, I will gladly talk to you for hours.
I'll put your number on the screen right now here.
Yes, go for it. So I've gotten to connect with several families, and we'll do so throughout the month of September, and then we'll begin meeting with other middle school families because as a middle school, if you're in that bubble, you're starting to think, like, what's high school going to look like for my student? And I'm excited to answer questions because we have the answers. And so it's just great to connect with those families. They've got wonderful questions and are making it feel even more real. I had a family tonight say, we're in. We are going to be the explorers. I'm like, I'm sending you the paperwork right now. But it's fun to connect with those families. So my share and information I just wanted to bring to the community through this coffee talk tonight is about continued communication. We know that you, as our Westlake community, want to know what's going on with the high school. And we found in the spring that we really like communicating through videos. That video communication in this level 1 model is a great way to get our message across. And so we've crafted what was originally a 6-series video, and now, for a very exciting reason, is actually 7 videos that will start this Sunday, diving into different components of our high school program. And you should walk away from that 7 video series with a really solid idea of what our high school is going to be offering to our explorers and how it will truly be an extension of our mission statement. I think that work has been so fun to look at our K-8 as a solid foundation and now imagine what 9 through 12 will look like for our students. We can't wait to bring you those details. I will tell you that you'll want to stay tuned for all 7 of the videos. Number 7 is going to be a student voice video. So we'll have some of our future 9th graders producing a video to talk about some exciting things like maybe mascot, maybe our sports program. I'm dropping some nuggets here. So look out for that video coming late November, but there'll be a series that will start this week. And if you're tuned into tonight's call, you're seeing some images on this slide of some imagining of what our school is going to look like as students walk into that. So we've been working with some really phenomenal local graphic designers and architects to begin to develop the inside of that building to make it just feel amazing and special. So
I love it.
Thanks for letting me jump in tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're so glad. I'm sure people have some questions. We'll try to dodge the answers so that your videos can tell the stories. I mean, I know that originally it was like, hey, let's have a big town hall meeting, get everybody in one room, and like talk for an hour and 70 minutes. And we're like, we just can't do that via video. No one wants to watch an hour and a half video. So I love this idea that you're going to do these little 5 to 7 minute video series where the information just trickles out between now and then conveniently right when the lottery opens up. And every student who's in 8th grade, if they jump in and sign in, they're automatically roll up because we're all one school. But they still have to do the lottery piece or do some type of sign up piece by the time we get there.
I think we're calling it an intent to enroll. Sort of a hey, we're in. We're just as we make our plan. The video piece is going to be awesome. We are also embedding just a form to ask questions as you watch the video. So we can, as best as possible, create an ongoing conversation over the next few months.
Yeah, you were talking about embedding some FAQs down below the videos so that we can all ask questions. I love it. And so we're going to talk about what does learning look like, and that's really like everything from like what are academic program statements and promises about academic and SEL, all the way down to like what does a master schedule potentially look like. Then academic and SEL program specifics, so you really get into the granular. I love that piece. Video 3 is the facilities vision, which gets us time to put that together, which is great. I'm working on that. I promise.
Yeah, I know. I buffered it down a little bit for you, Mr.
Well, thanks.
Definitely touched on everyone's mind.
We're in some contract negotiations, and so we can't be too public about facilities until we have, wet ink on a contract. So we're working on stuff. The student culture piece will be a blast. And then what's a graduate profile?
Well, great question. Thank you for asking that. That was one of the first pieces that we worked on and started that work actually over a year ago, and began looking at our mission statement and realizing that the last line of our mission statement is speaking about our graduates, right? That we're building backwards from that, lead as global citizens to depict what our 12th graders will look like as they walk across that stage. So what we're going to unveil for you on the 15th. And I think there have been some images of the mission state or the graduate profile shared through board meetings, and maybe your first launch video in May had some alluded to that a little bit. But we're going to really take those first 4 videos and put them into a picture to show how those 4 components build a 12th grader who will walk across that stage ready to lead as a global citizen. So it is exciting.
I only tease it, because I know you have a graphic put together that I love looking at. I mean, I want to put on my wall right now because it really does. It paints this picture of like, this is the student who will graduate from Westlake Charter High School with these competencies, these skills, this particular mindset. This is how they'll be college proven, college ready. Like, I just go, oh yeah, that's a great piece. So I'll watch that video. I might be in that video. Hey, Mrs. Batten, thanks for coming tonight. I know you're presenting at the board meeting, which is this Thursday night, September 10th. So if are you going to be giving more information at that meeting than this meeting? Like if I came to the board meeting, would I get a little tease of some more high school information?
Yeah, it's sort of these drops in the bucket. So you'll come here, get the idea. Then the board meeting we'll dive into that first video a little bit deeper, and then the video will come out on Sunday. So definitely tune into the board meeting to get more information.
Great. Mrs. Johnson, I know you're out there. I'll see you at the board meeting. She's the best. She's always at the board meeting. Hey, thanks, Mrs. Batten. Thanks for being here. You're amazing. You're phenomenal. Mrs. Caillou, did we have a trivia question that didn't get? Did somebody other than Mrs. Songer win?
Speaking of Mrs. Johnson, she won. She said east to Westlake, and she even said that it was on where it was on our website. So there you go. So Mrs. Johnson is our winner for our 3rd trivia question.
Ways to Westlake.com. I love it. Great work. So that was the 3rd trivia question. We're going to dive into our Q&A portion of the show, but if you want to ask a trivia question now, to give people time to answer it before we sign off tonight. Do you have one more trivia question, Jen?
Let me check my notes here.
Number 4?
Maybe. Oh, I just felt like I had to ask this question again. Just because Mrs. Batten was just here. So we're just going to give this one away, and everybody hopefully will know it. So what school year will our high school open? I just feel like if you were listening, you know the answer. So someone out there, what school year will our high school open? That's our last trivia question for the night.
All right. So what school year will our high school open? Somebody answer that. I'm going to move the actual link here onto the screen for our community. If you are going to ask a question, if you haven't asked it already, it's on the screen for you now. So let's leave that up there, and let's take some questions. I think we have at least 10 minutes left in the show. I know we ran a little late because of my tech glitch. I apologize, everybody. So if we have to run a couple minutes over, that's fine. Mrs. Caillou, are there some questions in the tank?
Mr. Rick, I'm checking out right now. We have a few more celebrations that came in, but I am not seeing any questions yet. So if our families are out there, please ask some questions that you're burning that you want. You have us as an audience right now, cool. So make sure to ask those questions.
Can I just while there's no questions in the tank and with 7 minutes left on the clock, I am going to take the executive privilege and just take one moment here. I know you're going to do some celebrations. I would like to enter a celebration that I did not celebrate, so here it comes. Today is September 7th, 8th, and this Saturday on September 12th. My mom, Ellie Ike, turns 80 years old, and we're throwing her a Zoom party. None of you are invited, but I love you all. But this woman is just the greatest human being you'll ever meet. She's been the greatest influence on my life. If there's even anything at all you like about me as a human being, it came from Ellie Ike. And so, Mom, from YouTube to you, Happy birthday. I love you. Okay. What other celebrations do we have out there, Mrs. Caillou?
That was the best celebration yet. Thank you for doing that. That's wonderful. We have another celebration. I want to celebrate all of the WCS staff, students, and families who are keeping the goal of returning to school together in mind as they continue to wear those masks in public and make personal sacrifices by not seeing friends and minimize mixing with others. Thank you for working hard to reduce Sacramento's COVID-19 cases. So just celebrating our community that we are working together to continue to work towards coming to school. And how do we do that? By making sure that the COVID is not spreading to our community. Yeah. So we also have one last one. I celebrate all of you and congrats to Mrs. Caillou. Oh, thank you. To Mrs. Caillou on being our new principal. Thank you for that. That's very nice. So those are our last celebrations I had come through. Strike, as of now, I don't see any questions. So I know.
Well, I know. Well, Amber, do you have any questions? Like, let's ask each other some questions because we got 5 minutes. This is wonderful. Just going back to that celebration though, real quick, Mrs. Caillou, I'd like to give a shout out to each of the family members who's pulled into the parking lot for any reason at all and has worn a mask, even if you've been in the parking lot 100 feet from I just see so many people respectfully, it's like they come to this place and people are putting on masks and being so courteous and conscientious about keeping us all safe. Our staff members are here. Our base employees are taking care of our children. And the fact that everybody's being extra careful around our staff members means the world to all of us. So thank you, families, for doing what you do. Everybody who approaches this building takes good care of all of us, even people getting out of their car to pick up a distance learning kit. So thank you, families. And I want to give a shout out to our staff members, especially those ones who stand at the door and check all of our temperatures on the way in. I mean, we got Saba and we got Margaret and we got, all of these amazing staff members who are like, hey, I'm here to greet you with a smile, but I'm here to make sure you're safe. Every single day I walk through the door, and every single day they're like, do you have any symptoms? Have you taken any fever reducers? I'm like, no, still no. And they take my temperature, and I'm like, hey, thanks for doing that. So that's I love the fact that we're focused on safety. I think it's a good piece. Amber, you got your mic off? You got a thought?
I just thought we would quickly answer something that's been asked a lot, is about specialties. How are specialties working? Who do we contact about specialties? Do I have to do it the day that can I do it, if we can't get it done till the weekend, is that okay? So just kind of tackling that.
Love it. Ms. Caillou, principal, or who takes it?
Yeah, let's tag team it. So I first would say that, our specialty teachers are creating an assignment that families could take a week to do. So what the message is that after 1:15, your whatever day your specialty is, so if it's Art Monday, art is that day. If you don't get to it till Thursday because your family has something else going, that's more than fine. So families are also saying, do I have to do it right at 1:15? No. So you can do it after school gets out after 1:15. Set that time as a family. Some families are like, hey, we do a big longer lunch together at 1:15 after school gets out, and then we come back and do specialties at 3 p.m. Sure. So that's one of the things we encourage you to participate. There are some amazing enrichment opportunities. And so please connect and participate, but we're kind of loose about the time that you need to participate, and you have that week to finish that assignment. So like Spanish is Friday for our K-5 students. You can participate early. You can take the whole next week to work on your Spanish. And so hopefully that answers some of the questions for our families.
Yeah. Now, it's a good one. Just to add to that, Ms. Caillou, the specialties are providing the instructional piece and the work for the kids to do. I love what Ms. Houston asked. Does it have to be done today? I think it's a great answer. Work where you can work, starting at that 1:15 block after the primary instructions provided. But here's the thing you may not know. Not only does your kindergarten through 5th grade teacher receive your Spanish art and PE assignments, but your Spanish art and PE teachers have access to the Google Classroom, and they are now looking over these assignments. Now, poor Mrs. Jackson really look through 1,000 art projects every week. Maybe not, but she is targetedly diving into Google Classrooms and checking in on kids' work so that she can better inform her own instruction on like, okay, this is how the kids did this week. What can we do next week? So just so you know, this isn't like they're dropping some instructional piece in and walking away. These teachers are plugging in and checking progress along the way because we try to keep them from it. We're like, hey, you don't want to be giving it feedback on 1,000, and they're like, let us see, let us in. So good on them, man. They love what they do and they love who they work for, and that's our children. So we're real proud to say that they're in that Google Classroom looking at what your students are turning in.
Yeah, 100%. John, one question did just come in, and
good.
it's just regards to technology.
Oh, yeah.
This particular family's had a lot of problems with lag and disconnections with one of our students in their Chromebook.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about what's going on school-wide?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, we're having the same problem at the Ike House. I mean, we thought we had good internet until we're here. So we're learning along the way, everybody. I mean, one of the things we're learning is so Google Meet as a video conferencing platform. It takes up a lot of bandwidth on your Wi-Fi, but it's not just the Wi-Fi that is a potential issue for you. You know, your little Chromebook is such a great little device for a Google Doc and a Google slideshow and surfing the internet, but you know, we're asking this tiny little CPU, this central processing unit, this little tiny CPU in this computer to do a lot of work. You know, so when we launched the school year, we were like, we're going to have our teacher on a video screen, and the teacher's going to throw up a video. We're all going to watch a video together. And what we found was that, it just bogs down these computers. And so our teachers are slowly trying to adjust. Like, okay, maybe I won't show the video. I'll have the kids jump off and do a video. Also, the number of participants on a screen, for example, affects the amount of processing that the video platform has to do, and so you'll see a lot of our teachers starting to use breakout rooms now more purposefully, or you'll see a lot of our primary teachers especially using small groups because small groups use less bandwidth. So look, we're working on it. We're actually even considering investigating a second platform. We're using Google Meet because it's a free platform that our school has access to through our Google Suite for education applications. We thought about Zoom, but we're talking to our partners in the Natomas Unified School District up in Roseville. We have some friends up there who are also using Zoom, and they're like, yeah, again, it uses less bandwidth on the Wi-Fi side, but allegedly that little CPU, that little central processing unit, that little Chromebook is struggling to keep up. And so we're just going to keep iterating in the background, trying to get better. We even talked about Mr. Eichley, in fact, who was on earlier. He found a little extension that we might be able to push out that reduces some of the workload on the Chromebook. So, gosh, families, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that we're having these issues. It's happening in my house as well. My poor third grade daughter's been bumped off. It's so frustrating for her. I'm finding that just as many eighth graders are getting bumped off, but it feels like the eighth graders are like, oh, and they click back on. Like the eighth grader, they can kind of process jumping on and off. But boy, for our littles, it's so hard. If I could figure out a way, we'll get that support out there. But we're working on it in the background, as best we can. And again, reach out and use our tech support. You'd be surprised. You may be struggling at home with a piece of technology that you're like, this is not working. And if you reach out to our tech support, they might be like, oh, what Chromebook are you using? Oh, the version needs updating. Let me process that from this side. You would be surprised. Our Mandy Gammon, who is our tech director, look, she all day she will sit on the phone with you and try to troubleshoot. She is so dedicated. Her heart is so big. She cares a ton. So if you're having some tech issues that are really creating some frustration, please don't be shy. Please reach out to our tech team. The tech support is always in the Westlake Weekly, but if you can't find that, just email admin@westlakecharter.com and we'll get you to Mandy and we'll see what we can do. And if you don't have one of the school Chromebooks and you need one, we'll get you one. Let's work together, and families, we'll keep trying to iteratively get better at how to make this more manageable on your side. We're looking into different platforms. Google Meet just came up with a new update, which could make things way better or worse, because you never know, because it's technology. But we'll find out in the next coming days how that update rolls out. We just saw today it's starting to drop. So, sorry, Jen, you asked me a tech question. I'll talk all day.
I know, and it's wonderful. It's good. I think good for families to hear that they're not alone. That maybe other people are struggling. Because sometimes we think, is it just my house? And so I think it's good to talk about those things. John, I don't have any other questions, but I do have 2 more celebrations, and I have the trivia winner. So if I could do those 2 things, that would be awesome.
Yeah, bring us home.
Yeah, so our trivia winner is Sherry Cantor. She said 2021 is our first year of our high school. So good on you, Sherry. Thank you. And then we have 2 celebrations, and I couldn't go without doing this one because it's celebrating Amber, and I would love to do it as well. I would like to celebrate Amber Husted for being such an amazing WAVE president. She gives so much of her time to WCS, and I am proud to say I'm part of the WAVE board with her. That's from Veronica. And then we have Cassie Yang said, we are celebrating being a new family to WCS. We received a warm welcome from the teacher, staff, and administration. They have been so helpful and more prepared for a unique year than we thought possible. As a special shout out to WAVE and its devoted president, Amber. What a great community. So I wanted to make sure I celebrated Amber as well. You helped lead our parent group, which we are so grateful for, Amber. So thank you for doing all your hard work, for sure.
Thank you. That was amazing.
The perfect way to end the show. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us on this coffee talk. Thanks for your celebrations, for your trivia responses. Thanks for the questions. And thanks for the opportunity for us to be in your living room tonight and just talk a little bit about Westlake Charter School. Please reach out to us at admin at Westlake Charter for any questions, thoughts, or concerns. We really want to partner and collaborate with your family and make this year the best year ever, regardless of what level we're in, whether it's distance learning or fully back to school. So, hey, thanks for being here. And as always, let's explore. All right, I'll hit end and bye, everybody.